Hi everyone, this is our Harbor Freight greenhouse. I'm just going to do a quick video of a few things that we did to it when we put it up. This is what the outside of it looks like right now. We got our power going in there. We just bought a drop cord. I think it's like I want to say a 12 gauge drop cord to put into it. We have a little pipe coming out of the ground right there. That's for our water hose. It goes in right there, and it's for our sink that's inside. I'll show you here in a little bit. We never used the clips when we put ours together. We actually used the bolts, as you can see there, and we siliconed every single piece of it closed so no water can get in. We only had it leak one time when we first got it put up, and after that we fixed that spot and it never leaked again. This is what the back of it looks like. My husband put a fan up right there to pull the heat out of it. It's just a small fan. And one thing else we did, it kind of looks rednecky, but it works perfect. We went to Lowe's and bought 3 of the box fans, and we actually tie wrapped them together and put them right there in the doorway because they got little feet on the bottom of them that sits perfect in that lip of the doorway. The top fan actually blows out. The 2 bottom fans blow in. So you got the cooler air going in from the bottom and the hot air coming out from the top because heat rises, so it works pretty good. Between that and the fan that's up there on the other end, it actually pulls the heat out pretty good and it stays a decent temperature. I mean, it still gets hot in there when it's 100 degrees outside, but it's not that bad. We live in North Carolina, so the temperature gets up to probably 100, probably in the summertime, worst case scenario. Wintertime probably gets down to about 10, 20 degrees. I mean, we've had it get to 0 before, but that's been kind of rare. So this is what the outside of it looks like. I'm going to take you in and show you what the inside of it looks like. Okay, this is what the inside of the greenhouse looks like. As you come in the door right there, we put a screen. It's one of those little cheap screens you get at Walmart. This is the magnetized screen that when you put it together, it just snaps together like that to keep the bugs out. And these are actually fabric softener sheets I stuck to there. We got to the time of year where the stupid stink bugs are coming out everywhere. I can't stand those things. So I put fabric softener sheets on there. And it seems to work, it keeps them out. This is what the inside of it looks like. For the power, it comes in right there. We just have a drop cord and then a power supply, whatever that thing's called. Surge protector coming in right there, and we just branched off with it and actually took a drop cord and connected it with the light switch to work the lights. This is what our sink looks like. We actually have one of those portable air conditioners in here. I wouldn't recommend that. That thing does not, I think it's like 6,000 BTUs. There's no way that thing can put out enough cool air to keep cool this greenhouse when it's 100 degrees outside. It tries, but it just can't keep up, and it draws a massive amount of power. But we just actually put it in like that through the wind and cut it out. This is what the inside of it looks like. I haven't got any plants growing in here yet. We haven't had it up long. We really just got it up probably just a couple weeks ago. I actually got finished with most of it. And there's the fan I was talking about. And we just have a few grow lights right here that's mounted up. Drop cords. And I built all these shelves. And yes, I do have a TV in there and an antenna. And a Roku box. You gotta have TV when you're in the greenhouse working. So this is what my shelves look like. We came back and framed in after we got it up. I know most people said they recommended doing it before you actually started putting the windows up or the panels up. Definitely do that before you put the panels up, because it is a job to get this wood in and frame it up after you put the windows in. You basically got to have a screwdriver. I had to go to Lowe's and buy one of the screwdrivers that goes at an angle like that. I think they're called right angle screwdrivers that go in the end of your drill bit, because you cannot get to the areas up there where the windows are without having one of those. So, and we went to Harbor Freight and bought the, I don't know if you can see, it's pretty bright in here, come this way so maybe you can see a little bit better. We actually went to Harbor Freight and bought the 4-foot LED lights. These things put a massive amount of light. I got 4 of them in here, and you can turn on one and it lights up the whole greenhouse. And we put one of the heaters in. I think it's an infrared heater. It draws a lot of power, so we're looking at doing something different maybe than what we're doing now. We're only turning it on just a little bit at nighttime to keep it about 70 degrees in here. I'm looking at doing a kerosene heater, but with the clear kerosene so it don't stink, because old kerosene heaters smell terrible. But that's what I'm looking at trying to do to see if it's going to work. So, and this is what it looks like inside. I'm not sure what else to show you other than, I mean, just how we put everything together. Our floor was just leftover landscaping, I guess you call them pavers, landscape pavers. My husband has a landscaping business, so he had a whole slew of leftover pavers from a job he did, so I just kind of started putting them together, and it's actually a circle pattern up under here. You can't really see it right now with the rug down, but that's what it looks like. If you have any questions about how we did anything, just leave me a message in the comments and I will try to answer you. One thing let me mention. Our fan up there that my husband installed, we actually bought one of the switches that runs off of temperature control, as you see right there. I think I got it on Amazon. But whenever the temperature drops, the fan up there comes on and starts pulling out the heat, and these fans come on, the ones that I was just showing you. So I just sit it in the doorway every morning before I leave for work, and as the temperature rises, it automatically cuts itself on. And I just use this screen up at the top and I put it together so no bugs can get in. Now, when the temperature's not that hot outside, I just leave the screen on it if I'm outside working. If I'm not outside working, I keep it closed up. We keep it sealed, but when we're outside working, we just leave it open and put the screen up. These little screens are really handy because I think they just got Velcro that hooks, so we just put it on the doors like that and hooked it up at the top. And then between that and the magnets, I mean, it goes together really easy. As you can see, there's not much to it. And we just put a drop cord right there and got one of the little 3-prong switches or whatever it's called, and all 3 fans plug into it. The fan idea don't look the greatest. It looks kind of cheap, but it works perfect. Each one of these fans is like 2,300 CFM. So between 3 of them, you got, what is that, 6,900 CFM? That is a lot of airflow. The 2 bottom ones, like I said, blow in. The top one blows out. So the cool air is coming in down here and the hot air is going out up there, and that blows the hot air out also. So it works really good. I mean, to buy a fan like that pulls 6,900 CFM, you're going to pay a pretty penny. These fans right here at Lowe's, I think they're $19.99. So for 3 of them, it's about 60 bucks. You can't beat that for the airflow. And this is our sink I was telling you about. We actually just came up under it and plumbed it in like that. We went to Lowe's and they showed us all the connectors to buy to hook it to a water hose. So that's how we did it. And then right there in the floor, we actually just put a pipe in for a drain when we build it. We did that before we started building the frame or anything. And our frame sits on 4x6s, as you can see there. And we just bolted them together. And the greenhouse, it don't come with anything to bolt the metal down, because they tell you to put it on the ground. We actually got screws all the way down the metal. You can see one right there where we screwed it in. So it's actually bolted to the 4x6s, and it's bolted, the whole frame's bolted to the 4x4s in the corner. We put the 4x4s in the corner. We actually did that before we built the greenhouse. Well, we built the frame and then we put the 4x4s in the corner and we sunk them in concrete. But we didn't do all the other framing like this until we got it completed. So if you can do that before you go putting the windows on, I would highly recommend that, because that is a job. Doing that before you put the windows in. It took us forever. And then on top of that, it's like 1,000 degrees in this thing. So, and you gotta cut your fans off because you're trying to work and go in and out of the door and cut wood and everything. So it come out better if you frame it all in before you go doing that. But this is what everything looks like. If there is anything in this video, like I said, that I can answer for you to help you out, just ask me. You can see we got a massive amount of silicone. I even got silicone down there. But it don't leak. We actually siliconed all of our vents closed. I know some people leave them open. They leak like crazy. I can't stand that. All that water. So we actually closed ours, tied them down with we kind of zip ties and closed them, and we actually siliconed them from the top, and I siliconed them from the bottom. We only had one leak when we first got them put up, and it was one of the vents. That's the only leak we had in the whole greenhouse. So we went back through the top and sealed it in, and ever since then it hasn't leaked at all. So we've had some really hard rains this year. Well, I mean, like I said, we only had it up about a month, but we've had some hard rains in the last month, and it's not leaked but that one time, and that's it. So I'm happy for that. But this is our video. If there's any questions, ask me. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.